go, and then you just talk for 5 minutes by yourself.
Really?
Okay. So talk about your girlfriend, talk about other girlfriends, talk about just playing, talking about Sonic.
Everything.
5 minutes. Can you go 5 minutes?
I think I can go 5 minutes.
You probably could.
All right. Well, good evening. Welcome to the Coach Avanchan Show here on BoswellSports.com. We're coming to you live from the press box at Pioneer Stadium, and it's time once again to talk Boswell football with the head coach of the Pioneers, John Avanchan. Hello, Coach.
Hi, Jim. We just scored Wayside Wildcats just scored a touchdown. That was an awesome.
This team looks good down there.
They do. It was awesome.
And, of course, tonight our special guest is Malik Hubbard.
All right.
Linebacker. Hello, Malik.
Hey, how are you doing?
Hey, doing great. Glad to have you on the show. On tonight's edition of the Coach Avanchan Show, we got some things to talk about. They had the bye week, but we do have some stuff to talk about. The first thing we're going to look at is the state of the team. I thought we'd look at and see what's going on there, and then we'll talk about this week's opener in the Battle of the Lake against the Azle Hornets, and what a way to start the district with the old Battle of the Lake against the Azle Hornets. Mm-hmm. Then, of course, in our third segment, we'll sit down with our special guest this week. That's Malik Hubbard, and talk about the fine game that he had.
Who's on a break from work at Sonic on Boat Club.
Yes.
Supersonic, go back to you.
And, of course, without the talents of Steve Collier tonight, he had to work. He's got to work this week on Friday night.
Will not be here Friday.
But we have a special announcement to make tonight.
Special guest.
We have a special guest up in the booth. The PRJ, Paul Jacobs,
himself
is going to be up in the booth doing color with us. So I don't anticipate us getting any homer calls this week.
You know, but Paul can get pretty crazy. I've heard it's he can get out of control. He get some football in front of him, he just loses himself. So,
Coach, I want to take just a moment here. I want to mention a couple of people who've touched us here at Boswell Sports in the last couple of weeks. First, I want to recognize Coach Kate McNeil's mother, Beth. Mm-hmm. She traveled here from Arkansas a couple of weeks ago.
Awesome.
Showed appreciation to my wife and I for what we do here on BoswellSports.com, and Beth listens to us at home. Just wanted to say thank you from the both of us. Your gift was very kind, and we certainly appreciate it.
She's awesome.
Then last week we received a letter from one of your players, number 31, and I think I'm saying this right, Xavier Lozano.
Lozano, you got it.
Yep, who expressed his appreciation for the Coach Avanchan Show and the interviews that we do, and then the live game broadcast. Thank you for your kindness, Xavier. 11 years ago, Sandy and I were just fans in the stands, and from time to time we wonder if we're accomplishing what we set out to do over a decade ago. It's our fans, and most importantly, it's the players that keep us in the game. And when we see gratitude expressed by so many, we truly feel like a part of the Pioneer family. And speaking of Pioneers, stick around. There's more to come here on the Coach Avanchan Show on BoswellSports.com. I think.
Maybe.
Computer must have worked as hard as I did today because it is lagging.
Struggling.
There we go. Okay.
Linda's Hair Fashions, the best hair salon at the most affordable prices in the Saginaw area. Whether it's prom, your wedding day, or just Tuesday, Linda's Hair Fashions can provide you with full services from head to toe to make you look absolutely stunning. Let the beauticians help create a look that emphasizes your natural beauty. They specialize in haircuts and styling, color, updos, facials and skincare, nails, waxing, and more. Treat yourself to a day of pampering. Call for your appointment today.
Folks, Lone Star Insurers. Paul Jacobs, the owner of Lone Star Insurers, is a great insurance agent, and I can't wait to get him up in the booth this Friday night. And I know that one thing for sure, when I'm making my way over to Azle on Friday night, I got peace of mind because he covers not only my home, but also my auto, my son's automobile. He'd cover my daughter's insurance if she wasn't all the way up in Perryton. But a couple of years ago, I decided to make the plunge, and I gave Paul a call after my former insurance agent couldn't handle what we had going on with the purchase of our new home. And Paul came in, swooped in, did a lot of work for us, and we've been happy ever since. If you've got insurance needs, Paul can help you with home, auto, boat, life, health. He's got it all. Give him a call at 817-236-886, or you can go visit him right there on Boat Club Road at 8101 Boat Club Road, Suite 325. I'm telling you, you give Paul a chance, he'll go to work. Let him prove what he can do for you. His motto is he wants to treat you the way that he would want to be treated. And that's truly what Paul will do. So give those guys a call, 817-236-2886. Speaking of homes, we've got a new sponsor to BoswellSports.com, All County Group. It is a rental management group, and the agent is Kim Miller, and Kim can do all kinds of sorts of things for you. If you've got renters, then she can handle all of those needs. They'll do background checks. They'll check on your renters. They've got online services where if you're a renter, you can go in and actually put in a service ticket. There's all sorts of things that she can do. She's got credentials like you wouldn't believe. Give Kim a call if you're looking to rent a property, or if you want to be a landlord. Kim can take care of all those issues for you. And the All County Property Management Group, and got the phone number here. Give Kim a call at 817-567-2500, or send her an email, kmiller@allcountygroup.com. Okay, Coach, last week, being the bye week, I thought we might talk about the state of the team this week. We talked at the beginning of the season about your goals going into non-district play, and the Pioneers did very well, finished the non-district portion of the season 3-0 against some good teams. What did you learn from non-district, and how do you feel about the team moving forward?
I told the kids that one of the things that I can't instill in them after we get going, you can do it in off season, you can do it in spring ball and all that stuff, is kind of instill the fight in them and instill some toughness in them, and kind of watch the team gel together. And after the season starts, it's kind of on them, and that's something that I've seen out of them, is that they've got some fight, they've got some toughness, and they're not afraid to rally up and overcome mistakes, build leadership, that type of stuff. And that's the kind of stuff I've seen so far, and I've been really proud. Our captain's council, our seniors, we got so many of them. They've done really well in getting us to where we need to be. And you go at each game, and you can pick out the positives, and I can be. I can get real negative and say, well, we didn't do this right, didn't do it, but we overcame anything that we didn't do right and found a way to get wins. You can look at the Centennial game of the mistakes we made, but then found a way to win. And then you go to the Dunbar game where we had a lead and let them back in the door and looked like we were about to let it slip through our fingers, and we found a way to close the door and win it. Birdville, we just never – it seemed like we were just right on the doorstep of shutting it down, and then they were back in, then they had the lead, and then we're sitting – then we were tested. We were fully tested on, twice offensively to make the play and get that done. So, the X's and O's stuff that we got to fix, a lot of it's Coach Ab. Coach Ab's got to fix his stuff. I made a lot of mistakes. And so, but I know that our kids are going to execute and run what we ask them to run. So that gives me peace of mind that it's not that we can't do it. It's not like we don't have the ability to do it. It's not that we don't have the will to do it, because that's what I've seen the first three games. We can fix head placement. We can fix where we put our hands. We can fix, the blocking schemes and the, missed tackles or the alignments and stuff like that I put them in a bad position. And our coaches have looked at it and said, okay, we like this. So, because, I've been around teams that may not have been as strong and couldn't get, you're sitting there going, oh my goodness, we're going to have to recreate magic, or we're going to have to restart the wheel and stuff like that. And what I like about this group is that they're willing to work. They came to work Monday morning and we ran them hard and they got after it. And then Monday afternoon we had a great practice this morning. It was as humid as I think I've ever been there. And anytime after a Dallas Cowboy night game, you can expect some tired people, but they still found a way. It wasn't the sharpest, but they battled and they finished stronger than they started. And so I was proud of them for that. And then tomorrow morning is going to be a great practice. They've already promised me. They've promised me they were going to be fresh and ready and excited and on time. And so we just know that we've got a big one Friday, and that's what we've been building on.
Coach, which players do you feel like you saw the most growth and improvement from so far this season?
Oh, man. I don't know if we got long enough to go through that. You could start with the guy beside me, just in his ability to change positions and excel at inside backer. He'd been playing outside, just able to create havoc at that position, and that's exactly what he's done at inside backer, of adapting to what he's doing, and really proud of his his desire. And again, he's the type of guy that his last 5 plays are better than his first 5 plays, and that's something that's a great attribute to have. And so, but I think Braden has been just his willingness to learn, and it's and he was so good at the end of last season, and just where he's at and improving every single day has been really good. I think there was a lot of concern. Not from me, but I think there were some doubts about our offensive line, and I think where we are right now is not where we want to be, but we have a chance to be really good at that as well. And I'm excited about that, along with our secondary. We've got some young guys in the secondary, and some things to get better at, but it's been a real exciting deal to watch them improve every single day. BB has just gotten better and better at at what he does. He's a great player, but he's just excelling and more versatile in what he can do and what he's able to bring to the table. And his conditioning is twice as good as what it's been. And I've been proud of him. So like I said, Jay Garcia being at the running back position, Dutch really you can't say enough about him just for all that he does at every position. And so, like I said, I can go on and name every kid. I mean, I got 38 seniors and I got 52 on the varsity, and it's, Jinberg has played extremely well and doing just a great job. Kyrese is in the middle battling. We got a new kid, Terrence Ware, that's adjusting to our system. That's a great talent that's really improving every single day. Morales, the sophomore, had a big sack at the end of the game against Bardville. He's coming along and really learning. Sisk at the right tackle, Walters at left tackle, just playing. Reverse that. That those guys are playing really good football. Max at center. So, like I said, Citropolis. We could talk all day because our kids. And the ones that I'm talking about have been are being leaders, or they're allowed to be led, or just fighting their tail off. And I'm proud of these guys. I'm proud of them where they are now. Again, we're 0-0. Whether you're 3-0, 0-3, 2-1, 1-2, it does not matter, because it now is for keeps. We are now playing for real. And but again, I've been in a lot worse positions than where we are right now.
What's been the biggest surprise for you so far this season?
I don't know, Jim, if surprise is the word. I've been really happy with our offensive line play. I just that's not a surprise because they work so stinking hard. But I think they've played extremely well. And they've done really good. And then we lost some really good pieces on defense, and I felt like our defense has been playing extremely well, minus the big plays. If we can eliminate the big plays, then we're going to be in really good shape. So like I said, I think it's still a work in progress. We've got we're nowhere near where I want to be, but I like where we're at.
You had a chance to heal over this past week. How does the team stand as far as the injury situation?
Really good. Of course, if all you have to do is compare to last year, and we are stellar. So, but we're in really good shape, man. You know, we've got some bumps and bruises, some tender ankles and that type of deal, and but nothing that these children can't handle. And so, I think they're a tough group.
That was going to be my next question. You talk about last year, and it's still pretty fresh on my mind. I'm sure it is on yours,
right? And
probably even so with the players. How do you feel today versus where we were this time last year?
I laugh because last year I learned a lot about coaching. I learned a lot about myself, learned a lot about my staff. In perseverance, I was not very tough last year. I was pretty weak, and so it was just you can't describe it. I mean, but it made us stronger. It made me a better coach, made us a better staff, made us a better football team, and but that was last year. Last year. This is a whole nother deal. This is a totally different group. It's a totally different dynamic. We had 21 seniors last year. And going into the Azle game, I don't know that we had 12 that were healthy for that game. So for this one, I got 38 seniors, and I feel pretty confident that 38 of them are ready to go.
Well,
and
that was my next question. Do you feel more confident going into this week versus
no?
Because there were a lot of questions.
I felt really good when Azle was 0-2, and then they beat the tar out of stinking Crowley. And they looked like a playoff team. I mean, they really did. They played defense absolutely stellar. They didn't turn the ball over, and they finished the game. And so, to answer your question, no, I don't. I would love to say that we're going to take care of business, and no doubt about it. But it's going to be a war. It's the Battle of the Lake every time it is. And so, Coach Dorsey is going to have them ready, as he always does.
Well, these are what you call money games.
Yep.
They begin as the Pioneers travel to Azle to take on the Hornets in the annual Battle for the Lake, and we're going to talk about that next year on the Coach Abenshine Show. This computer's going so slow. I'm not sure what's going on here.
Yeah. If you are from the local Dallas-Fort Worth area, you remember radio stations like KCEW, Q102, and The Eagle. During their heyday, they were highly listened to radio stations. For those of you who don't know anything about those radio stations, I'm sure most will agree that radio today has gotten dull, repetitive, and really not worth listening to. Well, if you like classic rock from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, and would like to hear new songs from classic rock artists from that time period, you can. It's Sam's Classic Rock and Roll. Just Google it or go to Facebook at Sam's Classic Rock and Roll. At Sam's Classic Rock and Roll, it's not the same 500 songs over and over. There are thousands in the library. It's what radio should be and used to be. It's Sam's Classic Rock and Roll. Google it or check it out on Facebook. It's Sam's Classic Rock and Roll.
comments in here because I just said all that for nothing because I had the mic turned on.
That's all right. So good.
So, Steve, you can see that we're struggling without you, brother. Talking about absolute comfort and solar screens, I was talking about installing them on my home a couple of years ago and seeing immediate savings with my electric bill. And Randy Clark, God, that guy knows solar screens. He knows attic installation. Give him a call. Let him come out and give you a free estimate, 817-881-1991. Then, of course, we got to talk about Amy Moody and Keller Williams Realty. Amy is all the things you see on your screen. She's hardworking, she's knowledgeable, she's friendly, experienced, and she has local ties. Amy helped me buy and sell my home, did an incredible job. We sold it within a week, and we had 7 offers on our home. Now, I'm not saying that you'll get 7 on yours, but Amy went to work, and she might get you 700. And Amy did a great job for us. And couldn't have been happier with what Amy did whenever she went to work and selling our home. If you're looking to sell your home, give Amy a call, 817-300-8196, or email her at txhomesbyamy@kwrealty.com. All right, Coach, let's get back down to business here. We're going to talk Azle week here. And I wonder if you want to, before we do that, I wonder if you want to answer Coach Griffin's.
Coach Griffin says, any concern about Azle getting into a heavy set? Coach Griffin, there's always concern with the Azle Hornets that for whatever they come at us with. And Coach Griffin is very, very familiar with the pop pass. That's what he ran. He graduated in '68, and so that was a popular play back in the day. And so he's trying to bring it back, and so I think that's pretty exciting. So anything with Azle is a concern because they're well coached. They're very large. They have the biggest offensive line we will ever see, and you got Gamble Moore at number 40 at the running back, and he's a dude. So he's pretty good. And Lutz at the nose guard, number 60. He may be the best player in the district.
Coach, wins and losses, they count now as we move into district play. The Pioneers travel to Azle for that annual Battle of the Lake. This will be the 45th meeting between these two teams since they first met in 1963. It was September 23rd, 1963. Wow. The final score was Boswell 6 and Azle 6.
Oh, wow.
Their first meeting was a tie. The Pioneers own the all-time series with 31 wins, 12 losses, and 1 tie. And Boswell has only lost the Battle for the Lake once since 2006 when you took over as head coach. And they have only lost you've only lost to the Hornets 3 times this century. Mm-hmm. The Pioneers last traveled to Hornet Stadium in 2015. Lost that game 24-34. Coach, it was a game that came with a little bit of controversy as the Hornets field was vandalized prior to the game. Talk about the incident, and do you know if they have safeguards in place to try to prevent that from happening again this year?
You know, Jim, I don't have any idea. I know that was a big, humongous distraction. It was a terrible thing that happened, and I just know this, that there's never a place for that nobody knows who did it. I think there's been rumors back and forth of who did it, but it really doesn't matter. It was a terrible deal, but on top of that, it was a learning experience as a coach for me that, you teach your kids that the game, they didn't call the game off. I mean, they didn't destroy the field, and the game's going to be played. And so I have no control over anybody doing it. I know no one on our team had anything to do with it, and I feel very confident no one in our school had anything to do with it. But, it doesn't matter because we let it affect who we were as a team. And we had no reason to because, none of our kids had anything to do with it, and so you just have to handle it. And stuff happens all the time. And it's like your family. We talked about this with our kids, is that stuff happens with my kids. Stuff happens with your parents. Stuff happens at work. Stuff happens with your house. And it's not like you can stop down and not live. You just got to go. Well, football, that's what's so cool about football, is that you got to live. You got to play. And the game's going to start at 7 o'clock. We're going to play. And so whether the field's painted or not painted, or, 2 years ago, if we could have come in with the mentality of, okay, this is a bad thing that happened, well, we got to play the game at 7. But it affected us. It put us in a place, and it was a learning point that we have to learn from and say, okay, well, if something bad happens, fix it or adapt to it, or, whatever the case may be. And so, like I said, they got a new turf, and I know they were fired up, and they were so gracious to make a donation in our name for that was just so nice of them. And so, without ever knowing who did it or whatever the case may be. So, like I said, it's just a matter of overcoming whatever comes at you. And that was a great deal. I mean, whoever did it accomplished their job. I mean, it screwed us up. So, but we can't let that happen. We can't. I mean, it cannot happen. And we talked about it. We said that with any big game, there's the possibility of something happening is great. Hopefully, never painting a field ever again, but something could happen because people are full of emotions, and people do things that they wouldn't normally do, and so but we can't affect us, and so that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, I remember as a kid, our biggest rival was Cleburne, and the things that used to happen between those two schools is pretty much what kids will do.
Yep.
And a lot of painting and this and that, and so hopefully nothing will happen this week. Coach, let's talk about the Hornets head coach. Devin Doris was a member of your staff prior to taking the head coaching job at Azle.
Yep.
Talk about your relationship with Coach Doris and what the rivalry means to you guys.
Yeah, I don't like him at all. No, Coach Doris he's a great guy. He was defensive coordinator for me for several years and did a fantastic job. He's one of those guys that is one of the hardest workers I've ever been around, that he constantly tries to get better whatever he's doing. And if it's golf, if it's football, if it's offense, defense, whatever the case may be, he's trying to get better. And he's done a great job at Azle, and just works extremely hard at what he does. And the kids are well coached. They play hard. They're always ready to play. And it's one of those things that when you get, we've been lucky enough to get a win. We've earned it, and so we know that it's going to be no different this Friday. That it's going to be a war, because he's going to be ready to go. But Devin is a great family man. He's got a great family. He's got 2 boys, and Carrie's they're really good people, and they're good friends of ours. And so I got a lot of respect for him and his staff for what they do, because it's not an easy job no matter where you're at, but it keeps this. I thought it kept this thing friendly. So anyway, it's a good deal.
Last year's game, Boswell featured the battle of the freshman quarterbacks.
Yep.
Here at Boswell. It was Ken Seals versus Braden Thomas, and we all know how that game turned out, and the birth of the Flying Fish. The kid Seals has moved on to Weatherford,
right,
and which means the Pioneers will face a different quarterback this year, 6 foot, 165-pound senior Gavin Coffey.
Yeah.
He has completed 27 of 46 for 300 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. He's also rushed the ball 36 times for 101 yards, 1 TD. How does Coffey's playing style differ from what we saw out of Seals?
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to compare them. It's just they're totally different kids. And I'm not going to say that anybody's better than anybody. I just know this, that Coffey's there. That's the biggest difference to me. And as a coach, I'm going to coach the kids that are at my school, and I know Devin's the same way. But I know that Gavin is enrolled at Azle High School, and that's the biggest difference. Is that he's a tough kid. I mean, tough, and finds a way, and played really well Friday against two Fridays ago against Crowley, and threw some great balls and completed. But you can tell that they fight for him. And that's something that I see that's a big change. And so he's he's a leader, and he's a tough kid, and I know Coach Doris thinks a lot of him to step into that spot. So he's tough. He's a tough dude.
Coach, you talked briefly about the running back, number 40, Gamble Moore. He's 6 foot, 200-pound senior. Moore has 50 carries for 155 yards. He's averaging 1 yards per carry.
Yep.
Not big numbers after 3 games, but Moore's a tough kid. What can we expect to see from him?
Well, I think the biggest thing you need to look at is who they've been playing. They've been playing 3 stellar defenses. Grapevine's got a great defense. Timber Creek may have one of the best defenses in the Metroplex, and then Crowley goes without saying. They're awesome. And so you can't really judge a book by its cover because that's not very fair. But Gamble Moore can catch the ball out of the backfield. They like to swing it to him. They like to screen him, and then they'll hand it to him on zone, on power, on that type of stuff. And he will not go down on the first or second contact, and you better bring a bunch of people because he's tough. I mean, he's a good runner. And like I said, their line on it, and I wasn't kidding, they're the biggest line that we will see. They're gigantic. And the Cowboys would be jealous. And so they get in your mess and they're going to fight you all the way through. And so I noticed against Crowley they were real versatile in their sets and formations and trying to mix you up and that type of stuff. So it creates a challenge. And by doing that, it gets Gamble into different situations where he can be effective because to me, he's their dude. He's the one that kind of stirs the drink.
Coach, the strength of the Hornets appears to be that defense.
Mm-hmm.
They look pretty athletic from what I've seen.
Yep.
The Hornets have given up an average of 27 points per game, but like you said, they look good against Crowley, holding the Eagles to 7 points.
Yep.
They've got 5 interceptions, 1 fumble recovery. They're a lot better than that 1-2 record would indicate. Who's their biggest impact player on defense?
It's Lutz. I mean, it begins and ends with him because talking to Coach Doris, he was their MVP last year as a junior, which is a pretty remarkable feat. He's one of those kids that you watch him on film and he never stops. I mean, he's making plays on the edge, on the sideline as a nose guard, and that's not normal for his type of speed because they've got real good, not his speed, but the speed of their defense is fast, and so he's able to make plays even with that. But as normal with Azle, they play tough physical defense. They're going to swarm to the ball. They're going to be sound. They're going to do what they're supposed to do, and they do things right. But Lutz is the dude. I mean, he really is. I mean, he's one of those guys that is a strong physical child that gave us fits last year. I mean, he gave us he messed us up last year, and we're scheming and we're going to try to sneak 12 on there to try to block them. So that's kind of the plan. But no, they're playing just like I said. I mean, you look at the Grapevine's got the quarterback going to Tech, guns up, and then you got again Timber Creek, they're really good, and then Crowley's got some cats. So they've been tested, and I felt like played really well. And having to be on the field a long time and having to play and that type of deal that they've. They're salty. We've got our plate is full.
Coach, there's not a week that has not gone by since we started the season that we didn't mention Smash Go or Gata.
Absolutely. And I believe since 1963, Azle has scored against Basel on the Smash Go every year. And so that's my first year as head coach. They scored on Smash Go. First year of Doris's head coaching career, he scored on Smash Go because I obviously cannot defend the Smash Go. So I feel strongly. Now, will we run it? I'm saying yes, no doubt. Tell Collier to get ready at BNSF because the Smash. No, I don't know.
Yeah, Collier said he heard a rumor at the coffee shop that we had a Gata package going into this week. Any truth to that rumor?
Sure. There's no doubt. It's especially at the coffee shop. I'm sure they drew it up with the pink packages and the ketchup bottles and had it all ironed out. So we'll have all kinds of interesting stuff coming on Friday night.
I got to give Collier his GATA fix this week. He's missing the Coach Ab show. He's going to miss the game on
He's
Friday
stoked
night.
up right now. He's going to miss 2 of them, and I don't know how he's going to handle it. That's going to be tough.
So we got to feed him a little bit of GATA.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be
a little bit of GATA.
Gotta right, gotta left.
Exactly.
Sometimes we'll do the naked boot out of it. That's when we're getting a little dicey. The naked boot, you got to be careful.
Coach, if there's one thing that you would want the Pioneer fans to know going into the Battle Lake, what would that be?
Oh, just come on. It's going to be loud. They bring, I mean, I've seen their student section. They're loud and they're jumping around and come on with it. We need everybody to go on the bridge and get over there. And it's you're playing for the lake. I mean, my mama, she lives over there. And, you know, I don't know which side she's sitting on. And so, I'm just kidding. She's going to sit on our side. But but every time after July 4th, we drive across on that dam, and I see the people in the boats. And that's what we're playing for. We're playing for that lake, and that's a big thing because that thing sits there all the time, and it's big. And we've been playing for that thing for many, many years. And it's a great rivalry. I mean, it's a passionate, great rivalry, and we just ask everybody to do it right, you know, on both sides. Don't do anything silly, and just have fun. And because you got 2 great teams that are going to play hard, but I'm telling every Boswell Pioneer fan, get there early and get loud because it's going to be fun.
Coach, I got to ask you about a situation too. Gage Howard. One of your players on defense. Gage has, you know, he's on the Pioneers, and I believe he's got a sister that is a cheerleader over there at Azle. Have you ever had a situation where you had one family member on your team and then another family member on the opposing team?
You know, not that I probably have, Jim. I can't remember. I think I can't imagine the stress on the family of having to, you know, decide how that deal goes, where you sit and how you know, what you do and that type of stuff. And so that's an interesting dynamic and that would be even more interesting as if they were playing against each other, if they had a brother on either side or a stepbrother or whatever the case may be. But no, I think especially in this kind of rivalry, that would be a very intriguing concept.
Well, that's a look at the Azle game. When we come back, we'll sit down with our special guest linebacker, Malik Hubbard.
Freak.
That's next here on the Coach Ab and Shan show on BoswellSports.com. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Hey, look, it's moving.
Are we doing good?
Doing good.
My life be like, yeah. My life be like, yeah. My life be like, yeah. My life be like times like these that make me say, yeah. Lord, if you see me, please come my way. Like leaving breadcrumbs so when I stray, yeah. I'm sacrificing the price you pay. My life be like, yeah. My life be like, yeah.
Weren't you guys a rival?
No, not really. Because when I was in school, they were real small because they had
Linda's Hair Fashions,
around Lubbock,
the best
all the
hair
towns were
salon
real
at the
small
most
at that time,
affordable
and
prices
they've
in the
blown up since
Saginaw
then.
area. Whether it's prom, your wedding day, or just
crazy,
Tuesday,
so.
Linda's Hair Fashions can provide you with full services from head to toe to make you look
Linda's.
absolutely
Where's that
stunning.
at?
Let the beauticians help
It's right
create a
down
look
here,
that emphasizes your natural beauty. They
If you turn at the
specialize in
Jack in the
haircuts and
Box, going
styling,
towards
color,
Saginaw
updos,
Elementary.
facials and skincare,
It's right there on the
nails,
left.
waxing,
Yeah.
and more. Treat yourself to a day of
I
pampering.
think it's
Call for
before
your
you get to
appointment
that
today.
Yeah.
Church.
I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Lone Star Insurers has been serving clients with quality insurance coverage since 2000. Our insurance agency is based on the belief that our customers' insurance needs are of the utmost importance. We treat our clients the way we want to be treated, with honesty, trust, and a courteous manner, along with the belief that if we do what is best for the customer, then it is best for us too. We offer a full range of insurance products from auto, home, and business insurance, as well as workers' compensation and a whole lot more. Call today.
Chuck says, "Don't say anything crazy."
He said, "Don't say anything about
Don't say
Collier."
anything about Collier. Yeah,
Who is that?
that's the guy who helps us with the broadcast of the games. He's the crazy one. I'm the calm one. Welcome back to BoswellSports.com, the Coach Abensham Show. Let's welcome to the show Pioneer linebacker Malik Hubbard.
All right.
Thanks for coming out on the Coach Abensham Show. Real quick, I just wanted to mention this, Coach. I love your mom checking in here. So
Mom always takes care of me.
Ask Coach about when he played at Abilene Cooper and his mom taught at Abilene High and the rivalry there.
Mercy. That was crazy. They just had their game 2 Fridays ago. And I'm telling you, and Abilene High is not very good this year, and Cooper is good this year. And it doesn't matter. That thing is – there's – honest to goodness, I thought there was 50,000 people when I played, but I think it's more like 15. But it's amazing. Shotwell Stadium, if anybody's been to Shotwell Stadium, it's a lot like – it's built exactly like Wichita Falls Memorial Stadium. But that thing is full, and then they fill up the end zones and the grass. And it doesn't matter if we're the worst teams in America. When I was a senior, we were. And we were both terrible. And so – but, yes, my mother taught – for the Warbirds, and I was at Cooper, and they always talk trash to her, and she defended her baby, so I appreciated that. So they kicked a field goal. My junior year, as time ran out, and I'll never forget it. I was kneeled beside Jay Pugh, and my best buddy, and they kicked the field goal as time ran out, and it made me sick, and they beat us. And I think we both finished 1-9 that year, to tell you how stellar and then the next year, the mighty Cougars won 7-0. So that was only 25 years ago. So if you don't think you'll remember what you're doing, you're crazy. So.
Well, that's better than memory. I can't even remember some of the scores from last year.
Yeah. No doubt. It's good stuff. But back to Malik.
Let's start.
You ready for the 5-minute blitz?
I think so.
There's no 5-minute blitz, dude. We don't.
So that was a lie.
Yeah, Coach tells everybody that.
Yeah, it's fun. I get my kicks to watch y'all sweat. So. It's good.
Let's start with the bye week. How was it, and are you ready to get back on the field?
Yes, sir. I am. I'm ready. Can't wait. Very excited. Last game, it was a fight. This game is going to be a fight. We just got to keep on going. Yep.
Did you do anything fun during the week, or was it all Sonic?
I think it might have been all Sonic. Actually, I hung out with my girlfriend a little bit, but other than
What's your girlfriend's name?
Elena.
Nice.
Yeah, so we went to go see the movie It. It was kind of
scary.
It was stupid.
Okay. Yeah, you gotta be careful. I heard it's scary. My daughter does not want to see it.
Yeah, it was a little scary, but
yeah. Like if you saw a red balloon, would you freak out?
I'll just pop it.
Oh, okay.
Did you watch any football?
I did. I watched. Actually, I didn't get a chance to watch any on Saturday or Sunday, but I got to watch last night against the Cowboys. The Cowboys. Yeah, that was a good game.
They found a way to win.
Yep.
Nice catch.
Fourth quarter.
Malik, I love your name because it literally translates as king. And you've certainly been the king on defense. You lead the team in tackles with a total of 42, 18 solo, 24 assists, 1 sack, 5 tackles for losses, and a safety. You played lights out against Birdville a couple of weeks ago and were named player of the game. I remember you first catching our eye at the end of last season. It was like, who's this kid number 8? And you certainly have established who number 8 is on the field, and you get better and better by each week. Has the game always come natural for you, and what has been your favorite game to date so far, and why?
Favorite game at Boswell?
Mm-hmm.
I would say my Lubbock Cooper game last year, 3rd round playoffs. That was my favorite game. The most exciting moment. It was a close game as well, and
2 big sacks right in a row. He played really well.
You're a senior this year. What do you look forward to most out of your senior year?
I want to break some records. I want to leave my name. I don't want to just be another Boswell Pioneer. I want to be Malik.
Awesome. What kind of records do you have your sights on?
I want to break the single season record for tackles. Also the single game.
He was one off.
Yeah, very close.
I had 25, and the record's 26 last game. If I knew I was that close, I would have.
Would have got one more.
Anything I could have done, I would have did.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Of course, Coach told us that you work at the Sonic. They're on Boat Club Road.
Sonic Boat Club.
I want to
Sonic double cheese burger,
yes, sir.
bacon.
And Sandy canceled the leftover chicken and dumplings because I'm going to Sonic after this is over.
He's the best waiter at Sonic. Do you wear the roller skates or no?
I don't. I don't want to fall.
And how long have you been working at Sonic?
It'll be a year in November.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What do you like about it?
I like the fact that I get tips because it's an end. Like, you don't know how much you're gonna come home with at the end of the night. It could be like on Sunday I made $78 in tips, and plus $7.25 an hour. And honestly, that's the best a high school football player could make. Being in high school and playing football at the same time, that is pretty good money.
What do you recommend?
If you wanted to work there or eat?
Or to eat there.
Oh, eat?
Yeah, there's only one option.
Soup on double bacon cheeseburger. No mayo, add mustard.
With onions or no onions?
I like onions.
No
mustard.
No
ketchup,
onions.
Mayo, ketchup and
take the onions off.
Onions are good.
All right.
Well, my wife Sandy, that was her first job, was at Sonic. I had forgotten that. And she put that in the chat room here, and she says I'm on for Sonic after the show. Coach Naylor says Supersonic double bacon cheeseburger.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you cannot forget about the mozzarella sticks or marinara sauce.
Yeah, that's
cannot
pretty
forget about that one.
Yeah, I got to go with ranch.
So if I give you my order now,
I'll have it ready for you.
He will.
Awesome.
I'm going back to work after this.
Is it hard to juggle football, school, and work?
At first it was. I've been doing this since I was 15. I started working at Brahms, and then after a couple months, it just came natural.
And what's your favorite subject? As we're talking about school, what's your favorite subject?
I like English because I like to express myself, especially with essays and writing essays and stuff like that. I love to express myself, so I have to say
that's
English.
awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome because we actually give a $250 scholarship, and that involves writing a 500-word essay on what it means to be a Boswell Pioneer or the history of Boswell High School. So,
is that true?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you go to our Facebook page. And there's a little form there. You just fill that out, write your essay, and you can email it back, or you can send it through the regular mail, whichever you want to do. So, if you like writing essays, that sounds like it's right up your alley.
I've known Malik for a long time, and 500 words will not take him any time at all. I can assure you that he'll do that really well.
I will.
Do you have any plans for playing football after you graduate?
I have my mind on going to the Naval Academy after I graduate, and going there for 4 years. And I think that it's required to play a sport there, and it's definitely going to be football. And I have a meeting with them tomorrow after school. I'm going to talk to one of the Naval recruiters after school around 5.
Wow, that's awesome. Now, do you play any other sports?
Yes, sir. Wrestling, track, and I used to be a swimmer and a diver in Florida, but I put that behind me.
So I guess that I can see that the diving part of it, because on your play on the field, sometimes it looks like you're doing a swan dive.
Yep.
Do you have anyone listening tonight that you'd like to give a shout out to?
I would like to give a shout out to my mom. She loves Boswell. She loves it. I tried Lake Worth for a little bit when I first moved to Texas. She didn't like the dynamic there. Their mentality sucked almost. But it's a good school though. But football wise, she didn't like it. She likes Boswell because they're more. They care about the players. She's listening and she loves watching me play here. She sees how much I've changed since I've started playing for Boswell and started going to Boswell, and she definitely does see that improvement.
When did you talked about moving here? When did you move to this area?
That your sophomore year?
My sophomore year.
What was that, in the spring?
Mm-hmm.
Came right.
Right. In
he walked in first day. He walked in. I said, "Who's this?" And I mean, he got brought in his physical, brought in his stuff, and he said, "I'm Malik." And I said, "Well, Malik, get in." And so we started. He was first day of boot camp, and that's
seeing someone throwing up,
and we knew he had something that he didn't bat an eye and jumped all over it. So Malik, I can say this about Malik: he impresses me every single day for the kind of person he is and the kind of work ethic he has, and really the kind of leader he is, and the way that he plays is the kind of person he is. He never stops, and it's now that can be good, and then there's that can be some things to work on, but but he's a very, very special kid, and to get to coach him, I know Coach Davis and him have a great relationship, and he works with Coach Muller as well, and he just everything he does, he's trying to get better, and just in what he does, with work every single day, and then what he does with school, and I know his teachers think a lot of him. And for me as a coach, I can't tell you how valuable that is to be able to have him on my team.
Well, I tell you, it's been a pleasure watching you on the field, and of course, my wife's down there on the field taking pictures. She just loves you. You and Kyrie's both. She thinks that you guys are just the bomb. So
I
appreciate
her too.
And we will get you that disc. I've got a disc that I'm working on. We got a lot of pictures of you, and so we're going to definitely get you that disc with all the pictures that she's taken of you.
I'm looking forward to it.
Collier, want to know what your pregame ritual is?
My pregame ritual, I like to listen to this song. It's called Versatile.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta listen to that before I go out on the field. It just talks about how it's no limit to what you can do. You can do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like your mind is your only setback. You just got to go.
That's pretty good.
Coach, before we get out of here, I just have to say, and I want to tell you this personally, I've met a lot of really good young men that have come up here, and, that's the only time I really get to meet them face to face during the season is whenever they come up here to the show. I wish we could interview everybody on your roster. There's just not enough time to do it, but I want to compliment you and your coaching staff and the men that you guys are developing, and most of all, I want to compliment the parents.
No doubt. 100%.
We've had some great kids up here. Malik is one of them, and wow, I can't say enough about the family that you guys instill here at Boswell High School.
I appreciate it. That's why it's easy to come to work every day, because these guys right here, they make it fun. It's not a job. It's a blast.
Well, that's all the time that we have for tonight's show. Malik, thanks again for coming out. I'll see you here in a few minutes at Sonic. Good luck in the district opener against the Azle Hornets, and we hope that you guys have another award-winning Homer Call of the Week. I don't know what Paul Jacobs is going to introduce in that thing, but
Jim, you may let loose. You may go crazy. I don't know.
Maybe so.
We'll see what happens.
We certainly hope you guys get the win and keep the lake.
Absolutely.
Yes, for sure.
The Pioneers are headed to the Hornets' Nest on Friday evening, and that's 7 o'clock. That's the Battle of the Lake, man. I can't wait. One of my favorite games of the season. That game can be heard right here on BoswellSports.com Facebook page. Pregame is at 6:30. Kickoff is at 7. And then join us next week for another edition of the Coach Abendshan Show. We'll talk about the Battle of the Lake. Then we'll talk about, I believe, Eaton's up next.
Eaton's next.
And they're coming to town.
Homecoming.
So we'll talk about that. And that's homecoming. And then we'll have another guest, special student-athlete guest up here. Mm-hmm. And until then, this is Jim Howard for Coach Abendshan and our special guest, Malik Hubbard, saying good night from the PRJ and go Boz.
Go Boz. Way to go, man. Nice work. You did awesome.
An outstanding job.
Wait,
I hear the train a-comin', it's rolling around a bend, and I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, and time keeps dragging on. But that train keeps a-rollin' on down to San Antone. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy, don't ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. When I hear that whistle blowing, I hang my head and cry.